Hey, you guys, happy Hot Mess Monday. I am going to do some real quick things here. I'm going to share this to my profile. Here we go. Because I can do that because Mercury retrograde is over. So all kinds of great stuff is happening. All kinds of great stuff is. So we're going to talk about words today. So somebody put in the comments which one I needed to say, are or is, because I has not had enough coffee yet this morning. Today is the first day of school for my son, who is a freshman in high school now, officially. So I'm freaking out a little bit. I am not going to lie that I teared up on the way out. Good morning, Shannon. Nice to see you. I am going to try my hardest to keep on top of everything because I have everything all over the place, but so awesome to see you, Shannon. All right, you guys. So my son starts his freshman year today. My daughter starts her senior year tomorrow, and those are my last little chickens. And that's it. So I'm kind of in this place where I'm not quite empty nesting yet, but I can see all this stuff in front of me, and it's a little exciting and a little scary. It's almost like I'm well, I guess it's just like a whole new life, right? So yeah. So you got first day of school for you too, Shannon, right? Are you Oceanside also? Because this is Oceanside district. I'm assuming you are. Shannon lives nearby. We actually met as bloggers, but as sometimes happens, bloggers live close to you. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm going to have her on sometime soon to show you her beautiful jewelry because I love her stuff. So since we're talking about words, and somebody was asking me hey, have you written a book? I'm like, no, but there's this really cool book called Dear Sugar. Or actually, it's a podcast. It's called Dear Sugar. This one's actually called Tiny Beautiful Things. And it's kind of a collection of stuff from Dear Sugar, and I totally recommend it. It's Cheryl Strayed, who wrote Wild. Excuse me. My throat's a little rough today. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Anyway, she does this podcast. It's just awesome. She actually wrote in a few answers, and they asked her to come and do the call-in because her answers were so great to other readers, and then she did all the rest of the stuff that she does. All right, so the reason I wanted to talk today, and maybe some people can add some of the words that they've had other people say to them. I saw somebody reach out recently, sophomore Shannon, right? Shannon, that's awesome. Oh my gosh, they're getting so old. It's crazy. Anyway, so I saw somebody, a friend of mine the other day, who reached out on Facebook, as we do, and asked for some help. She was like, I am doing this keto thing and I really need somebody to come up with a keto dessert for me. And I was like, oh, I know this one little, dessert, because I am not doing keto, but I have decided to lower my carbs. I'm really, really watching the carb intake, trying to keep it to 30 grams or less, which is so difficult, you guys. Oh my God, just a cup of blueberries wipes that out. And you're like, it's blueberries. But yeah, it'll wipe it out. Anyway, so I know of a couple of little snacks that I like and that kind of satiate me and that, feel like I'm having a, rich little dessert. So I went to go respond, and I just was looking down to see what everybody else's responses were, because I thought, get some advice and maybe see things that I might be able to eat or try as well to kind of, keep the carb numbers down. And one of her friends said, you're on a diet, you don't get dessert. Just saying. I was like, what did you just say to your friend? Oh my God, who says that to a friend? I can't even stand it. How do you even call yourself a friend at that point? That's not encouraging. That's not helpful. And I just thought, of all the people that should be supporting you, it should be like another chick, right? Like totally so wrong, right? And I was just like, I was so blown away by that. I couldn't even stop to write my answer down. I just went straight over and DM'd her and I was like, who is this chick? Like, did you piss her off in kindergarten or something? Or did you like relentlessly tease her in high school? Like, who says that to a friend? I couldn't even stand it. Anyway, she was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you just don't do that. There are just so many things that you don't do. That's one of them. If you've got a friend who's like trying to better themselves in any way, you should only be saying encouraging things to them. Like you can be, truthful, but you also, well, I mean, truthful with grace, right? And grace, I heard this the other day, is the thing that holds you back from saying the thing that will change everything forever. And I feel like somebody saying something that mean and nasty, and I thought it was mean and nasty. I mean, other people are like, oh, she's just telling her the truth. She's on a diet. You don't get to have dessert. I'm like, yeah, you do. You do get to have dessert. You might wipe out all your like whatevers that day, but God damn it, you can have your damn dessert. Oh, that just irritated the crap out of me. I was like, I don't even know who she is. And it wasn't even my friend, but I wanted to unfriend her so bad. I was just like, I just want to do something because it just upset me so much for her. But anyway, then I posted my little thing and then I was like, I just wanted to respond to her and be like, yes, you do. Just saying. But then I'm like, I don't even know this girl. So anyway, yeah, so if it's not positive or encouraging, I feel like you should just keep that to yourself. Like what good is it going to do to anybody? Hey, you guys, if you're here, just do me a favor. Can you like the video and then also tell me where you're from? Shannon, I know where you're from, but let me know where you're from, where you're watching from. That'd be super duper great. Aubrey's here. Aubrey did this to me. Aubrey, you're amazing. I just love you. That sounded really wrong. So speaking of words, like last night, my son and I were in the kitchen, and I just love the way. I think I keep telling people, I'm like, I'm so stoked that we live here. Like, I'm not trying to show off. We went through some really big crap for a while where we didn't live anywhere. So I'm thankful for where we live. So I can't help it. I just have to keep like just being super stoked about it. But we were talking about like government stuff, right? And a certain president. And then all of a sudden we both looked over and we were like, Alexa's listening. And so we unplugged her because I'm a little scared. I got to be honest. I don't need all my words listened to. Well, I mean, these words I won't listen to, but certainly not the words that I'm having in a quiet conversation in my kitchen when I don't have a record button on. But the government does. So we unplugged that last night. Have you guys like been worried about your listening devices, like your little butlers, your little electronic helpers in the kitchen and the living room? Are you guys like starting to get a little worried about like what Jeff Bezos and Google and everybody else might be hearing? I'm a little paranoid. So, and here's the thing, and I said this yesterday. And I say it often, but it just was recently. So there were so many things that we thought we were crazy to think that have come true. I mean, president. Just that alone. We were like, that'll never happen. So yeah, so now I'm like, I'm the Tinfoil Hat Society president, and I am proud of it. I'm not, we turned that off. I think we're just going to go back to like egg timers for our alarms and like our own little speakers. I know our phones are listening to us too, but like, what are you going to do? I don't know. All right. So we had a message last week at our church, which was really funny. I know, like, you don't have to be spiritual or religious to believe that the things that you say mean something. They mean something to other people and to you, right? They mean something to everybody around you. And one of the things that that Shay, who was giving the message that day, talked about was that somebody who was very important in his life called him worthless. It was his coach, said, "You were worthless today." And that he always kept that word in the back of his mind. But it's so funny, in the same area, in the same arena, I remember singing, like we were singing a song, and one of the songs was like, "We're not worthy of your love." And I was like, dude, that's like imprinted in our heads, that we're not worthy of God's love or whatever. And that's, and that, I mean, if you follow the religion, whatever, that we're not worthy, he came, died for us, blah, blah, blah. And that's why but that messaging that we're not worthy, that's just, I realized that it hit me straight in the face, that was something that I grew up with. And so I've really, like, as hard as I try to be positive thinker and positive speaker to myself and to others, I realized that word and that thought, like, really permeates a lot of people's lives. And so, so I just was wondering, is there any word that you guys use, or any word that's been used on you that has stuck with you all your life? I'll tell you, there was a story. And this goes out to all the teachers out there. This is back to school. Be careful what you say in any way. But there was a teacher one time that my desk was just a mess. Hard to believe. You guys, seriously, like, I will walk you through my kitchen one day. Everything has a place and everything is in its place. And I'm wiping down the counters all the time. I have become a very fastidious person. But it wasn't always like that. And it certainly wasn't like that in first grade when I was shoving everything into my desk. I was just like, I got there. We were late. Always late. I've always been late. My mom made me late to everything. And then I make me late to everything. And then the thing is, here's the thing about being late. Let me just stop for real quick. Put a pin in that word thing. If you're late all your life, but nothing really, really bad ever happened, and like even missing a flight, you just got on the next flight, why would you give a shit about being on time? Like, honestly, I just learned that being late is just annoying, but there's always a backup plan. So it's not that, I just was trained to know that being late isn't the end of the world. Sorry, I know that's horrible. So anyway, so one of my teachers, I'd shoved all this stuff into the desk, right? And one time I'd shoved a lunch in there, and I didn't realize, and I was pulling stuff out and whatever, first grade, and they've got these desks, and like all you can do is stuff stuff in there, and so some stuff got to the back. And so my teacher decides in front of the class, she's going to unstuff my desk and like bitch about everything coming out. Look at your papers. Look at this. Look at that. And at the back of it was a lunch that had a banana, like a half-eaten banana. Well, I hadn't seen it, obvi. I mean, I would have probably taken it out and thrown it away, but it was shoved behind a bunch of stuff. She pulls out this bag, and it's a brown, mushy banana. And she said, "You're a pig." Oh my God, like right now, 40 years later, I want to cry. Like, that was the most horrible thing an adult could say to a child, And, well, I mean, there are some really horrible things an adult can say to a child, but that's one of them. That in front of all of my classmates. And I looked up and I caught the eye of one of my friends, and she looked like she wanted to cry for me. She looked like she wanted to help me crawl into a hole. And we're still friends. We've been friends ever since then. Apparently she got yelled at too, by the same teacher. But I didn't remember the things that teacher said to her. I only remember the things the teacher said to me. So in my little tiny 6-year-old mind, everybody hated me. Everybody thought I was a pig. Everybody it was awful. It was a horrible situation. And I had been put in her class because I had done well on all my tests. And so they pushed me up a grade. They put me up with, I was in first grade, they put me up with the second graders. So not only was like, I'm in the new class now, but I'm also with peers that are older than me. I'd rather go back to the sandbox, to be quite honest with you. But, because I could read and write like better than the other kids in my class, I got stuck with this horrible Mrs. McDevitt. Oh, she was, whenever I think of a witch, like the Wicked Witch of the East, I picture Miss McDevitt. So yeah, not a cool thing to say to kids, you guys. All right, I got a lot of stuff that I wanted to talk about, and I wrote it all down. And you guys, I was just like free writing last night because I couldn't. I'm like, and then this, then that, and da 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 da, because there's just so much stuff. Oh, sorry. The word sorry. Another lesson from grade school that apparently a lot of people haven't figured out. If you say sorry, you don't get to do the thing you were sorry for again without being a liar. So if you say sorry about something, have some like integrity and don't do that thing again. Or be like, sorry, this is, you can say this is who I am. The other person can decide this is not who I want to spend any time with, friendship, relationship, whatever. And that's fine. You're both being honest. But don't say sorry and sorry and sorry and sorry for the same thing over and over again because you're lying. And that, if that person keeps sticking around, I guess it was part of their fault. Not that I've done that before. Anyway, so yeah, so that's another one. Self-talk. You guys, we talk to ourselves probably worse than anybody talks to us. Like, do you guys have any like really bad self-talk habits? I catch myself saying things like, oh, you're so stupid, sugar. And then immediately I'll say, no, you're not stupid. You just made a really wrong decision. Oh no, you just were, your head was in the clouds and you forgot to turn left. You just have to make a U-turn. And I'll be sitting there talking to myself in the car. Does anybody else do that? Is it just me? But seriously, every time I say anything like, oh my God, sugar, I can't believe you're so stupid. I say that so much, but I try to like, nope, you're not stupid. You just made a mistake. You're running late. Things like that. I just try and be kinder to myself and nicer to myself, have a little more grace with myself because I can be pretty rough with myself too. So curious to know how many of you guys press the heart button if you guys have ever said anything bad to yourselves, anything mean to yourselves, yelling at yourselves in the car, anything like that. You might have done that. All right. Okay, so now here's another word, integrity. Integrity is the shit you say in private should reflect the shit you say in public. That includes the shit you say about people. If you are talking shit about people and then in public, maybe in comments or at work or whatever, you're blowing smoke up their ass, I saw it. You have now lost so much integrity in my eyes. And I know that in my circumstances when I see other people. And so I try my hardest to have the same conversations I have in private, in public. Another thing I try and do, you guys, is just not talk shit about people. It's so hard sometimes, though. It really, really, really is hard. I'll catch my high schoolers. Oh, God, they're both high schoolers now. Un momento. I'll catch my high schoolers being kind of like bitchy and talking about a third party that is not in the car. They'll be in the back seat with somebody like, oh, so-and-so did this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I will stop them all dead in their tracks. And my daughter and her friends know me. They're like a little scared. But I think they like me. Anyway, I'll always be like, is that person in the car? No. Then we don't talk about them. At least not in my car. I can't stop them from talking about other people in other environments, but I can stop them from talking about people. Oh my gosh, you guys, I haven't seen all these comments. I'm so sorry. Oh, okay, let me say hi really quick to everybody. Dina, hello. I love you for always being here. Evie's here, Peter's here, Kate's here. Okay, Dina, I've got yours. It says my my best friend and I had the same name, and for whatever reason, we had this one teacher that refused to say your names correctly because it doesn't matter what I call you. Stop it! She did not say that. It doesn't matter what I call you. Oh my God. At that point, retire. Like Mrs. McDevitt should have retired years before she taught me. Like seriously. And this, of course, was back in the 70s. So the teachers would be like on the playground, what's up, kids? You know, and you're just like, these are the adults in our lives. Oh my God. So like these are the people that are in charge of us. Like, you know, stop pushing so hard on the swings, kids. Somebody's gonna fall and break their neck. And then you know they leaned over, I hope that one breaks their neck. They're just awful people. But they taught school, and some of them are in charge of your kids right now. I seriously feel like some of them should just be given like a pillow and a cot in the back and just go take a nap. Anyway, so so going back to self-tuck, I have something that I wanted to say about the kitchen and the living room. Remember, I was just saying, like, we had a really bad situation a couple of years ago. We didn't have any place to live. And it was a really tough situation. It was really hard, but here's what we called it. We didn't call it the H word, unless we technically needed to for the school situation, whatever. But we didn't call it the H word. We called it our adventure. And that might be putting a Band-Aid on like a gushing wound. It helped, I'm going to tell you. And so whenever I refer to that time, oof, God, Aubrey, I do love this cut. Thank you. Sorry. Whenever I refer to that time, I refer to it as our adventure. So, Brian, you can't seem to watch me live. You've tried 2 browsers. Try your phone, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like Facebook, I don't know, like I'm actually thinking I'm going to start broadcasting on different channels. There's a way to broadcast on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. And I was testing that yesterday, and Peter kept punking me when I was trying to test that. But yeah, I'm a little nervous, I'll be honest with you, but I can't say it too loud because Zuckerberg is listening, I feel like. Anyway, so we used the word adventure, and I kept like inching up, getting us, kind of pulling us out of this adventure. And we got to this place where we were able to finally find, look for another place to live, a bigger place where we all had our own rooms. The kids were sharing a room and I was sleeping in the living room. It wasn't fun. It wasn't my idea of ideal. But we kept looking for a place. And I remember thinking, we'll just stay here. We'll just, this is fine. This will work for 4 more years. So, but we went to my sister's for Thanksgiving, and she has a townhome, and the folks downstairs were not there for Thanksgiving weekend. So we got to stay we had basically our own apartment for the whole week in San Francisco, which that was pretty sweet, to be honest. And the whole time I was like, the kids deserve this. They deserve this. And then I kind of was beating myself up like, shame on you, sugar. You should have this for your kids. But then I stopped in the middle of the week and I was like, you deserve this too, sugar. You deserve a nice place. And then I really just had it in my heart. I deserved it. It wasn't until I said I deserved it that things started coming. So I'm not saying that I am magical and I made it happen. Maybe. But I am saying that the words that you use surround you. They surround you. They come out of your pores. You radiate these words, these thoughts, these feelings. You do. You really, really do. And so when you radiate these words and thoughts and feelings, other people pick up on that. When they're in your zone, they pick up on that. The girl that we're renting with right now, this is her house. She owns this house. She had a roommate situation fall apart. She knew I was kind of starting to look for a place, and I probably was radiating good vibes, and she was like, she might not be a bad roommate, and I dig her kids. So she invited us to come over, and we now live in this great house in our budget with the most awesome kitchen. Oh, please, I'm gonna let you see this. Give me a second. Oh, Yes. Dude, I just love that kitchen. I cannot tell you. But that's what I wanted. That is the kitchen that I wanted. I posted this earlier on Instagram earlier this week. Like white cabinets, black granite countertops, and tile glass backsplash. I didn't really care what color, to be honest with you. Figured a neutral would be good. And that's what we got. So I don't know, the words you use for yourself and others, they count. All right, Evie said, I had a friend transfer into my English class senior year at Mayfair. And she sat next to me and the teacher said, you shouldn't next to her. She's trouble? Stop. Which teacher was that? Who was that? Who was that? I can't remember. Was it the one with the R. Rosenthal, whatever? What was her name? Tell me who it was. I got to know. She wasn't. That sucks. Okay, here's what I remember about you, Evie. You had a convertible rabbit. I thought that car was the most awesome. Who remembers what convertible rabbits were? Do you remember? Evie had one. It was the most awesome. I was so jealous. I had like a rust-colored Toyota Tercel that when you shut the door, it went tink. It was awesome. Not awesome. I still kind of want, I've seen convertible rabbits other places, like some people have like maintained them and kept them on the road, and I'm like, I still want one. Gina, thank you. I think we're all magical. Oh, okay. And the order in which you say words too, I was thinking about this. This actually came up in a video yesterday. It was the phrase, the power of love. It's so encouraging, and you think of, oh, the power of love, and you think of probably that stupid Huey Lewis song, The Power of Love. Switch the words around. The love of power. Ooh, now you're thinking Glengarry Glen Ross, right? Not as uplifting and encouraging. Same words, used in different ways, totally different meaning. So how you use a word and how, like, what intention you have behind the word, I feel like that makes a huge, huge difference. All right. Branding and being branded. That's the other thing that I was thinking about last night. Like I said, you guys, I had like a lot of thoughts. I was just like, scribble. I had the intention to write about or to talk about this, but I just, I just needed it to be dark and late and to be overthinking. But branding and being branded. And I think about the millennials all the time because I have them. I also have some Gen Zers. Dude, I got like, when Larry and I were still, when he was still alive and we were all living under the same roof, he was technically a boomer. I was a Gen Xer. And then I had my millennials. And then we had the babies and they were Gen Zers. We had 4 generations in that house. It was kind of funny. But millennials they've gotten a bad rap, I feel like. And they're kind of funny. They don't recall her name. Okay. Ow. Hold on. Dina has a convertible Beetle. I love those two, Dina. I think we're going to have to go for a ride out to Dina's getting a new house. She's moving into her new house near Palm Springs. I think we need to go shopping for your furniture. I've been picking furniture out for her in my head, but she's already got her pin board, so I don't need to help her out. But anyway, millennials, bad rap. Much like Gen Xers got a bad rap. You guys, we were supposed to be lazy, remember? We were supposed to be lazy people that just laid on the couch and picked lint out of our belly button and did nothing. We've done so much. We've done so much with so little. And you know what the best part was, though? The people that gave us more crap about who we were than anybody, the boomers. Who are they? Our parents. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I mean, I think by now all of our moms and dads have probably apologized enough and sent us to enough therapy that it's all good. So yeah. So anyway, be careful what you say about this next generation. We say so many bad things about them, like they're all entitled. Well, it's our fault, you guys, because we were all like latchkey kids for the most part. We were kind of like raised by wolves. And so we're overdoing it with our kids, maybe. I would say as a generation, because I'm pretty I'm not as as accommodating to my children as other people that I know. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I do make my kids figure out their way to school, figure out their way everywhere. If, you know, like sometimes they're like, oh, we want ice cream, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be in the middle of doing something for work because I do actually work. But because I'm home, they're like, can you just take us to the store? Well, any mom knows getting in the car, going to the store, going inside, that's a good 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. When you're like on a time crunch, you don't have 30, 40 minutes to go get some ice cream. So I'm like, go get it yourself. And I make them walk 2 miles each way, 1 way uphill to go get their own damn ice cream. So I feel like some parents are starting to do that again, but not all of us. So when we turn around and we say that millennials are entitled, when our generation says millennials are entitled, it's our fault. So don't say that to them anymore. Encourage them. They've already got, their president is a reality star. Well, a reality has been. So they've already got enough challenges. Let's say nicer things about them. Gen Z apparently is supposed to be like, what I heard this last night, and I hadn't heard this before because I'm trying really hard not to place labels on my kids. I'm just trying to just look at each of them and encourage them in the direction that they need to go, you know? So apparently Gen Z is supposed to be fat and lazy. I'm like, huh. I remember being called, potential lazy generation. I didn't like it. I'm not going to call them that. It's because they play video games all day. Video games have been proven to make your brain really amazing. Shut up. Just get them a bike and make them ride a bike a few times a week. All right. And then I did see, so Sharon Blumenfeld, I love her, you guys. And she has this great new podcast. And I'm going to be talking to her about it on Hot Mess Monday soon. It's, we'll just save it for the episode. Girl on girl insults. When girls freak out, we say things like hysterical, on the rag, hormonal. We attack these things that make us women, and we use them as insults. And that is wrong. And I try so hard not to blame like that time of the month on any of my attitudes. I know sometimes when I'm like feeling extra sensitive, I'm like, look at the calendar. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe go buy a chocolate. Maybe hide all the sharp objects. I don't know. But I know I don't need you to come to me and be like, you're hormonal today. No shit, sister. The last thing you need is a girlfriend like saying that stuff to you. So anyway, girls, let's encourage each other, starting with that. Don't say those things to each other. All right, and one last thing, the word decided and choose. When I do something, when I have a choice before me, whatever, I use the words I choose to in my head because I can't blame anybody else. I chose to stay with someone who had an addiction. So a lot of what happened to us was because of decisions I made. I had a lot of reasons for those decisions, and some of them were valid and some of them were just pie in the sky, wishful thinking. But I know that I chose that path, and I made those choices every day. Every day I chose to do certain things. And when I finally chose to end that, I also chose the path that came with that. And as rough as it was, I chose that path. And I could sit there and constantly be like, and I was angry. Oh, I was mad for a long time. But in the back of my mind, I was like, well, it was your decision. It was your decision from day one to today. And so if you like use those words, I decided, I choose to, I chose, you might not dig yourself too much. You're going to have less people to blame. And that might make you uncomfortable at first. But guess what? When there's less people to blame, you get to take responsibility for your own grown-up actions. And sometimes it takes us 40 years to figure that out. Whatever. At least we figure it out, right? Your life is in your hands and you're like in control. You start to feel like, you know what? I'm in control. I'm not this little feather blowing on a breeze. And if I get knocked over, it's of my own volition. You know, of course, there are always like just some random thing can happen to you. You could be on vacation somewhere and a tidal wave happens or a tsunami happens. Yeah, I mean, those are crazy things. But for the most part, the things that we do day to day, we'll play victim to those things too. So use your words to not be the victim anymore. Be the hero in your own goddamn story. All right, so that's all the words I have to say about words today. Encourage other people. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. It's so simple. It really is. Grasp that concept. Live it, own it, love it. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here again with me on a Monday. This week is going to be amazing and wonderful and beautiful, and it's going to kick ass, and I'm probably just going to cry a couple more times about my baby being a freshman and my other baby being a senior. So if you see me like tearing up, just come up and it's going to be okay, sugar. And same to you guys. And avoid the crazy people on back to school supply shopping. All right, you guys, thanks. See you later.